Three, two, one, and we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Again, this is Angela on channel Be Fabulous You with another edition of Notes on the News Feed. Today is August 2nd, 2018, and this is part two. Woo! All right, so I don't know how many more stories I have to cover, but I know that I hate to leave it hanging like that because it gets kind of hard to Brother Danubian, hey, it gets kind of hard to keep track with what it wants. So we just gonna go and see how much we got to go. Thank you for jumping back on or jumping on live on the replay. Really? Yes, really. Whatever. I appreciate you being here, liking, comment, subscribing, all of those. Liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Like, comment, subscribe, share. It's probably something else, but I appreciate you. That's all I'm trying to say. I appreciate you. As we working on 1,000. Hey, Bonafide 1970. So again, this is part two. If you have to leave early, it's going to be uploaded so you can, hey, Frank GTV, so you can come back and watch the rest of it or listen to the rest of it. If you came in late, you can loop back around, go back to part one, this part two, all of that other good stuff. So we don't know how long we going to be here, but we going to finish up what we started. So we talked about, we jumping right into the news feed. Habaragani Imani, faith. So today's principle of Kwanzaa of the Nguzo Saba is faith. And we read the essay earlier. So look back and check that out. Or we read a paragraph from the essay on endarkment.com earlier. Security guard arrested for macing protesters, questioned why he was charged for doing the same things that police do. First of all, I didn't really understand why the security guard, I would think if I was a security guard, I wouldn't do the same thing that police do. I would figure that police are better trained than me. They have better weapons than me. They have a whole better support system than me. So I wouldn't be out here if I was a security guard. I don't thinking that I'm going to do the same thing that the cops do. But anyway, he like, well, the cops are out here macing people. Why can't I mace people? The cops are out. He probably think the cops out here shooting black folks. Why can't I shoot black folks? Can't we all get out here and shoot black folks? I guess I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened. That story is coming off of Atlanta Black Star. Grocery store calls police on black woman feeding homeless in parking lot. And I heard that they said the security guard wants to be as much of a thug as the cops. Right. I heard that they said that this woman was shoplifting. Police, there's a woman who was shoplifting and she's still in the parking lot. And that woman hadn't even been in the store. How is the royal family? Hey, true royal family. She hadn't even been in the store. She hadn't even been in the store. And she shoplifting. They like, well, if she got food, she probably stole it. I can't even say your people, because they ain't the people. Trump claims Americans need ID to go grocery shopping. I think that his press person said, oh well, what he had meant to say was they needed ID to purchase alcohol. But Zero is just so dumb and ignorant, isn't he? I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't know what to say about him. Man who murdered and the people around him. I think that's even more disgusting. Like, I kind of feel like if somebody is a butthole and if somebody ain't skit, that's cool. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, just for so many people to be complicit in the ain't skitness and to be complicit in the buttholery and to, like, I'm down for you. I support you. I'm going to do whatever it's just like, wow. 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 Yeah. It's just it's interesting. Man who murdered Serena and Venus Williams' sister released from prison. I didn't know that Venus and Serena Williams and the other sibling was sister was murdered. How long ago did it happen? So the person is released from prison, like they've served their term and it's a wrap. That's what had happened to my the person who got convicted of killing my auntie. At some point he got out of jail. Nope. No walking it back. He said ID to do groceries. Now that needs to be Zero's middle name. Now that needs to be Zero's middle name. Yeah, I didn't know that either. So this story is coming off of Atlanta Black Star. I didn't read it. I mean, there's so many things he says that need to be his middle name. That's like on the Queen's Court, they call, instead of saying Wendy Williams, they say Wendy, Wendell, Bartholomew, and every week they had this thing where they would add a new name to her name. I guess you could do that with Zero. Zero, need ID to buy groceries, whatever dumb skit he said yesterday, whatever dumb skit he said the day before, whatever. You could just, and you'd have a really, really long list of things of, yeah, that need to be his middle name. All right. Alabama, so prayers out, to the Williams family, all of the siblings and everything. I'm not sure, but I know that when that man who murdered, who got convicted of murdering my aunt, is not, yeah, that's in this category. Uber, hashtag Uber while black. White woman calls cops on black woman waiting for ride in the rain. Hello, cops. There's a black woman out here waiting for a ride in the rain. Reddit hacker snagged email address and old passwords. So, I guess just your information is just out here. So even the old stuff is out here. Even stuff that doesn't exist anymore is like out on the, like it's out on the web. It just shows you how completely out of touch he is with all his supporters who are deluded enough to think he can actually relate to them. They don't care if he can relate to him. All they care about is that he hate black people. They like, he hate black people. Yeah, he hate brown people. They don't care about none of the rest of it. I don't know. Let me not be talking for people I don't know. I don't know nothing about them people. That's how it look. It looked like that's all they care about. Because common sense would tell you how he gonna relate to you. He's been rich all his life. Because he put on a red baseball cap. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Let me shut up. Zimbabwe's MDC Alliance says Kamiza beat Mnangagwa. So they having issues in Zimbabwe. We talked about it a couple minutes ago, but it's like, are we in civil war? There's disputes about who won the election and what's going on. It's an issue. It's some stuff going on in Zimbabwe. And I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking at the headlines. But just like we were talking earlier about Somalia and Eritrea and how we want to just get along. We want to see people in countries and all us working together and figuring stuff out and advancing together. All of that. I don't want to see mess and confusion. Come on, Bella. I get tired of her just standing around looking at me. With her stare. Okay. Prayers out to Zimbabwe and prayers out to African people all over the world that we can unite and work together and have clarity about how to connect with one another and build with one another and how we can come to, have discernment to know who we can trust and who not to trust and, who to move forward with and who to let go. And prayers out for just more black love of ourselves, love of our brothers, love and working together. We want more. I want more of that, more of that, more of that. University of Kentucky student drowns while studying abroad in Israel. This is coming off of Atlanta Black Star. We talked about this before. I told you I think this is a black student. Was a black student. So again, prayers out to the family of this young person. Prayers out to the young person as they have made and are making their transition. I don't know why they were in Israel, which is kind of beside the point. It just was kind of like, well, why were they in Israel? Not to say that you deserve to be drowned for going to Israel. But I'm like, well, who go to Israel? I don't know. But you hate to hear about just like, and they were close to coming home. As far as these 911 callers are concerned, Phil from the Advice Show suggested that you just hate to hear about somebody who's like getting ready to come home and then they make their transition. Like that child who was here as an exchange student at the high school in Florida that got shot up and that child got killed. I think the child was Indian. The young person was Indian or something. I just feel like, oh my gosh, your family got to go over to another, and I think when you travel, your family probably worry about you already. So just prayers out. Tuareg's newest phone is even more ridiculous than its last. That's coming off of Engadget. Shows that there should be a legislation to fine them for all the police resources used. I completely agree. Right. That's like tantamount in a way to like false arrest, false cause, all of that stuff. And then a lot of times there's documentation, like in that case we were talking about earlier, where the person called on the man in Walmart who she said, or the person who called in, I think, said he has a gun and he's pointing it at people, and that's absolutely not what was going on. The footage showed that. So you just straight out lying to have the cops come out on somebody. Why are you doing that? Why are you wasting resources on that? Yeah. Um, I don't know. Tuareg. Let's talk about that phone. South Africa to amend constitution to allow land expropriation. We talked about that in the headline earlier. Get a land black back to the black people. Get a land black. Get a land black. Give me my land black. And we said, yay. 19, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Yes! South Africa, yes. Okay. The Hubble phone includes a lot of ideas, but not much substance. Turing may have gone bankrupt without shipping a single unit of its much hyped smartphone, but that isn't stopping it from promising another headset. The company has unveiled Hubble phone. He also suggested that if a murder happens as a result, they should be charged with the murder as well. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, it's sort of like it's like in this system, which is on the surface, they're like, oh, we're here to serve and protect. But in essence, like they demonstrate time and time again that they're about, there it seems like they're, maybe it's because I'm black, but I just feel like their primary purpose seems like it's to harass and murder black people and to try to keep black people in line. So they're actually on mission. They're just not on the propaganda bullshit hypocritical mission that they claim to be on, but they're actually on their mission. So I just don't see them, being like, well, you're on mission, you're doing what we want you to do, but you're in trouble. Not really. I don't, yeah, that's not, I don't, is it gonna happen? I don't think it's gonna happen. You think it's gonna happen? Yeah. Um, it's even more outlandish than the first. This is his telephone. King West, stay strong. Azania. Is that another name for South Africa? Azania? What is Azania? Azania? Um, include dual display decks, one of which would swivel out to help video recording and similar tasks. This is the phone. Can you see it? That's the telephone right there. um, a good thing too, since it would revolve around a 60 megapixel main camera. Is that the African name for Azania? Azania? I'm gonna have to Google that. There would be more cameras, including dual variable aperture 12 MP sensors and a depth camera on the main deck. The hardware would supposedly run on still unannounced Snapdragon 855 in each section. You have to wait a while for the phone to ship, since it's not supposed to arrive until the first quarter of 2020 for a staggering $2,749. It's another name for South Africa. $3,000 for a phone? I'm kind of stressed out about, I need in my phone, the old version of the new one that's coming out is like $400, but the new version is like $650. But the old version, they say that the screen just spontaneously pops off, or that was an issue. So I'm like, that sounds kind of like this thing is lasting me. I need something solid. But $3,000 for a phone? People. But this just seems like a fan, like just a vanity fantasy type project. It doesn't seem practical. Um, Woman sues Canada Dry for false advertising after lab found only a microscopic, hey, love like the sun, only a microscopic amount of ginger in the ginger ale. Your phone costs $29. I's made it. Hey, Sonya sees. No, this thing didn't cost no $29. Yeah, I need somebody to give. Yeah. Okay. Um. So Canada Dry calls it ginger ale, and she like, well, it ain't no ginger in it, so I'm suing you. What y'all think? I knew it wasn't hardly no ginger. They have a microscopic amount, but you can taste it and tell it ain't no ginger in it. Yeah. So she's suing. Aero Mexico plane carrying at least 97 passengers crashes shortly after takeoff in northwest Mexico. This is an old story. We know, I think it was like 102, 103 people. Everybody survived. I think 97 of the 102, 103 people were injured, but everybody survived the crash. Canada says it is using that ice cream phone. This ain't no ice cream phone. It's my BlackBerry. Oh, BlackBerry is a fruity phone. Fans protest outside Bravo's office after learning Kenya Moore won't return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I wish I would go and protest Kenya Moore losing her job. And like she from Detroit, she went to Cass. I'm here for her like this. I got her back, like way back. I don't care that much. And then I heard, because my mother was texting me. She's like, "Did you hear about Kenya Moore?" I'm like, "I saw some headlines." She said, "Did you see the article I sent you?" I'm like, "No." She said they offered the woman like a 1% of what she was making, or a 10% of what she was making, or something. That's not really an offer. That's an insult. That was not an offer for negotiating. What? Someone else got time to beg for Kenya Moore's job. Right. I was like the same thing. Like, of all the things on my list of things to do, that will perpetually never be on the list. But anyway, the fans are out there. They had already started a hashtag. I wouldn't even hashtag for her. Not because I have anything against her, but just because I wouldn't. That's why. That's well because. But anyway, a Canadian province just killed one of the world's largest basic income projects. So we've been following this basic income, the concept that, like, hey, basically everybody in the community should get enough money for food, healthcare, housing, for the basic necessities. Homemade ginger ale is so easy to make. Just use some ginger root or make a strong elixir out of it, add some kind of sweetener and add it to seltzer water. Then add in some lemon or lime juice. What's an elixir? What does this mean, an elixir? That sounds like something like at a cocktail bar, they'd be like, here's an elixir of so and so and so and so. What's an elixir? I've never made fresh ginger ale. Now, at this Senegalese restaurant I used to like to go to in Brooklyn, Dai, they had ginger. Did not sparkle, but it was very good. It was very strong. It was just ginger and sweetener. That's all it was, and some kind of water. But and I like to make my own ginger tea. I usually serve mine hot, but still I do like it. And all I have to do once I make my ginger tea is add some sparkling water and some lemon or lime. And I usually add lemon or lime to mine anyway. A strong elixir, or make a strong elixir out of it. What's a strong elixir? How do you make a strong elixir? I'd like to make a strong elixir. I would. I don't know why. It sounds very fancy. What you doing, Angela? Hey, what's up? What you doing? Oh, I'm just here making a strong elixir. See, I like to be able to say those types of things. A strongly concentrated solution. That's what I do when I make my ginger tea. A lot of times. LeBron James. Hey, Andres. LeBron James' commitment to send kids from his school to college could one day reach over 100 million. I feel like if LeBron James ain't spending his money on people in his community and people who need it, then what the hell is he doing? Who cares how much it costs? I mean, I feel like he probably feel like I feel. Like, what else am I gonna do with it? Now, I told y'all before I was like really, here for LeBron James. What happened to Ayapo? I need to harass. I don't know. Text him and ask him. Call him and ask him. Oh, shoot. I done came out of my news feed. Habaragani. What's new and good with you? Um, hmm. Imani was our word for today. Since I already came out of my news feed, I'm just going on and responding to this text message. You can harass me in his place. You would stand in. Okay, so let's go back into the news feed. Look, I thought I was almost going to be finished with all my stories, and here I am, 20 more minutes in. And I thought I could get finished by 5:30. Okay, your waistline. That's a couple sit-ups. Remember we said we was going to take better care of our body? Um, uh, I'm looking. That's so sweet. Oh, I'm looking. I'm looking. ID to go shopping. We already talked about that. Reddit hacker. We talked about that. Um, what's new and good with me? Car shopping. Oh, my car is on its last wheel. Well, I always say drive it till the wheels fall off. So I guess if you done drove it till three of the four wheels fall off, you and your time management. I guess if you drive it till three of the four wheels fall off, then hey, S. Wiseman, then that you doing you. That's how I was taught. Drive it till the wheels fall off. Excuse me for a second. That's my stepfather knocking very lightly at the door. Huh? Oh, okay. No habla español. Um, woman sues. Um, so yeah, the basic income. I think that's the last story we were talking about. LeBron James. Oh, we were talking about that. Yeah, I'm here for LeBron James. I prayers out for LeBron James. Help him to continue to grow and develop. Those are the uppercuts. Airliner crashes in Durango after takeoff in Mexico. So that's the same old story. When you left with two wheels, turn it into a bicycle. The fight to end silence of fashion's waste problem. Go to hell, LeBron. You not sending him to Florida? He already in LA. Why can't we just send him to Florida? Um, so I guess they're like in Hattiesburg, they had these salvage stores, and in these salvage stores, you would go in and it would be like stuff would be like, I said hi earlier. Oh, I missed you. Hi. If I didn't say hi back, I probably didn't see you. They had these salvage stores where you go in and it would be like clothes. It could be like a champion juicer. It could be like food. It could be like, I'm good, hon. It could be food. It could be artwork. It could be patio furniture. It could be anything. You never knew what was school supplies, office supplies. You never knew what was going to be in there. And it would be like 50% off. And then if it stayed longer, it would be 60% off. Then if it stayed 2 weeks, it would be 70% off, then 80% off, then 90% off, then like, even less than that. So some of the stuff would be obviously like an Anne Klein handbag or a Coach handbag or a Champion juicer or J. Crew clothing or whatever. But like if it was J. Crew clothing, a lot of times they would have like, they would have taken a pair of scissors and they like cut the tag. They don't exactly cut the tag off. They just like cut it, you know? But I guess that was their way of getting rid of their old clothes. But I guess apparently a lot of these companies But I'm officially a LeBron James fan. He earned the title King James as far as I'm concerned. Move, Bella. I know, look at her. Hey, Bella. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure nobody is perfect, but I'm praying him continue in his growth and development and leadership, and desire to be of service. Hey, Nikki. So I guess a lot of these companies, according to this article, when like if the clothes don't sell, they don't put them in a salvage place. They just throw them away, burn them up, whatever. And so people are like shred them. So people are like, that's wasteful because there are people who need clothes, and y'all throwing away clothes that people could be wearing. So this is the fight to end silence on fashion's waste problem. I think a lot of these corporations have waste problems. I think I saw someplace where the meat industry is opening up more storage places to store their food. It's people out here who are hungry, and y'all trying to figure out how to store your food longer. Like I think they have like a 5-year backlog on frozen meat or something. I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention because but I did. So yeah, it's like greed and like holding stuff and hoarding. um India death penalty, does it actually deter rape? I don't know. The flooded Cambodian villagers who refused to move on. That's like when people were in New Orleans, they like, well, why don't you just move? Why are you staying in New Orleans? You know it's gonna flood, you know it's gonna be hurricanes. Why don't you move someplace else? I think people are attached to their place sometimes, and sometimes I think they don't have the resources. Nah, I won't be turning my car into a motorcycle. People drive too crazy here in New Jersey. I need road rage protection. You know that's right. Well, it's fun to go car shopping, I guess. Is it fun to go car shopping? So the villagers didn't move on. I don't know if they didn't have the resources or the money to move on, or they liked their place or whatever. Watch how white folks and non-black whose families that benefit from that school become in the end. Hmm. Interesting. Um, Shark kidnapped from Texas aquarium in baby's pram. So somebody went to an aquarium. Why they saying pram? They think we in England. Texas is in the here. Did we say does you have y'all ever heard pram? Where they say who say pram? Is that an English expression? So somebody went to the aquarium and they put a shark in the baby carriage and drove away, walked away. Kidnapped from a Texas aquarium in baby's pram. Oh, this story is coming off the BBC. That's probably shark napping, right? That's probably why they're using that term pram. Film inclusion report says rhetoric doesn't equal results. What? I'm just shocked. You mean if you talk about something, it doesn't make it better? So they saying all this talk about inclusion and having more black and brown faces and all of this, they like it ain't amounted to nothing. Basically virtually nothing. Nothing has changed, but we're talking more. That's it. That's all that's changed. I was doing this on the last one. So this is the way that we weave them together. So when you watch part one, you'll know that it's part of part two. It's connected. It's like weaving. Like Italian athlete, you mean talk is cheap, right? Italian athlete Asoque fears climate of violence after attack. I don't know. Maybe he was black and he got attacked, and so he fears the climate of violence. Do you have to wait to be attacked to fear violence, or because I mean it's like me. You see people getting shot. I see black people getting shot and attacked and stuff, or they go into the store and somebody grab them down to peel the boobies out or whatever. I don't know if I feel. I mean, I think that sometimes like I am conscious here recently of more often feeling anxiety. Like when I go out in certain communities, I'm kind of like, but I don't think it's like a continuous, ongoing, all the time thing. I think every once in a while, I'm like, I hope I make it back home safely. I don't think it's like, like. So I guess in a way, you probably can't sustain as a human being just constantly being worried and scared for your life. Oh my God, is somebody gonna shoot me? That would probably, the adrenaline and stress would probably cause you to have a heart attack and just kill over and die. So probably some stuff, just as a human being, you like, I can't worry about it. I can't think about it because I gotta go to the stove. Some of those nasty corporations find dirty ways to recycle their waste byproducts into human food, pet food, farm animal products, and much more. Right. And then I was talking to a nurse today, and she said that a lot of her clients, as senior citizens, get food donations. And she said that in Detroit, in the inner city, a lot of the food donations are expired, and not expired as in recently expired. It's not cheap if you add passion to it. I think the talk is cheap if it's just talk. I think if it's sincerity, then the talk is part of thoughts that connect to words that lead to action. But a lot of times I think people are just talking. Um, so they she said that a lot of the food that her clients get is expired, but not like expired like, what month is it now? August. It's August. Oh, that expired July 29th. She say some of the stuff that they give to the senior citizens in Detroit expired in like 2015, and it's 2018. And she said they don't do that in the suburbs. I think that was something somebody was talking about, how they recycle certain things. And then like stuff that they can't sell, especially in Africa where they didn't question anything forward, say forward, foreign, say what? Right. And then like I remember Nestle hearing that the formula, they had outlawed it or said that it wasn't like up to par for the United States. And I feel like, to me, the United States has very, very low standards. If I hear of something being banned in the United States, I'm like, oh, that it must really, 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 really be jacked up if it's banned in the US, because anything goes in the US. But hearing that Nestle had banned some formula in the US, and then they were, or not that Nestle, but Nestle, a Nestle formula had been banned in the US, and they were selling it in Africa. GOP lawmaker takes aim at black welfare recipients, says they substituted one plantation for another. That happens here too. Oftentimes, the reason why so much food ends up in the food banks is because it's close to its expired date or expired already. Yeah. Now that's how those salvage stores, where they had a salvage grocery store and you could find stuff, but you would have to like really, really look at the stuff. That was when I was buying a little more processed foods. Now I'm like, I don't even know what I would get. Dollar store frozen food, veggies are suspect, right? Because who's buying food at a dollar store? Usually people who don't have a lot of options. A lot of places ban Similac, but not the Great America. Mhm. Substituted one plantation for another. I know, because we were so happy on the other plantation, so we just looking for another plantation. We gonna substitute one for another. That's why we had y'all come over and get us from Africa, because we need y'all to take care of us when the corporations have a major recall on their consumable products. Film inclusion report says rhetoric doesn't equal results. Um, they just repackage it and sell it to other poorer countries. They love sending shids to Pacific Islands. Who is that icon, that blue icon? Is that somebody I know? Who in the room that I don't know? Introduce yourself. Or is that somebody just changed their icon? Italian, oh, we talked about that already. Okay, we talked about that already. Black man receives $200,000 settlement after he was fired for reporting police officer for using N-word during youth presentation. Oh, Brother Danubian. Hey, I guess I saw it earlier, but I didn't notice it. I must have seen it earlier because I saw you earlier. You ain't changed your icon between part 1 and part 2. There's never been any real need for Similac. Breast milk is much better for infants. I mean, it's a lot of products out here that are like a created need. They not adding any value. They taking away value. And we paying money to have value taken away. Oregon County shells out $200,000 after firing black man who reported racism on the job. Oh, you want to report racism on the job? Well, you're fired. So now they're paying him $200,000. Peace to stars. I know he probably happy. I don't know how stressful it was for him to lose his job, and what that, what the, if it's been 6 months, 2 months, 3 years, how long it's been since he lost his job. I was allergic to Similac. If he was able to get another job, if he missed mortgage payments, got kicked out of his house, lost his car. I don't know what happened in the interim, but I feel like if you are going to get reparations for something, if you are going to get, excuse me, if they're going to try to repair an injustice that they did to you with money, I'm glad that it wasn't like a bodily harm. Like, oh, well, I lost my arm, but I got $200,000. I'm glad it was like he just lost his job, which, again, who knows how traumatic and distressing that was. If Jessica Alba can create $1 billion baby industry products, we can certainly create baby products for the Black world. Ensure our, yep. Lyft challenges Chicago residents to dump their cars for free rides. China, we back on this China stuff, uses VR, China and their technology, eye tracking to gauge, assalamu alaikum, Brother Ben X and fam. Brother Ben X. Hi, Brother Ben X. I didn't see you. Am I crossing my eyes again? China uses VR eye tracking to gauge success of drug rehab. So I guess you at the drug rehab place and they want to know if it's successful. And so they use virtual reality to track your eyes. You be like, I'm all healed. They be like, no, you're not. You crossed your eyes. I'm not using any drugs. They be like, yes, you are. You crossed your eyes. I don't know. But China and they technology, and they be very intimately involved with the lives of their people. They're not a hands-off kind of country. They're a hands-on kind of country, it seems. Man caught screaming racial abuse at woman on video. My nephews are not effing black like your kids. Did I cuss? I said effing. Okay. Oh, I got nervous for a second. That's coming off of the Griot. Why these people be screaming and hollering and shooting and carrying? Why are they so mad? And I use people loosely. Why they so mad? I thought they were winning. They supreme, aren't they? They white. I mean, what more could they? I mean, what's better than being white and supreme? I mean, go on and be happy. What you mad for? We don't know comprendo. Viral hot water challenge leaves teen with severe burns to his face and his body. So when I first saw it, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like that car chat, the Drake challenge where the people was getting out of the moving cars and then someone got hurt. It's like, use your brain. But then I was having a conversation with someone because they never change. What are we waiting around for? What are we waiting around for? And then I was talking to somebody about, how developmentally young people really are not solidified in their development until they like 21, 25. So even though it sounds dumb to do like a viral hot water challenge, and then be like, oh my gosh, I got burned. I don't know. I guess that's the type of thing that teens do because they not really solidified here. They still, stuff is moving around. You know how when babies are born, they have a soft spot in their head. I guess their head don't really get solid for some time, the children. So, this is on Atlanta Black Star. I guess this was a black person. So prayers out to him. And, tell the children, explain it to them, try to help them. Don't put hot water on you. Don't jump out of cars that are moving. Parking officer calls one-legged black man N-word in handicap space, lies about him having a knife and has him arrested and prosecuted. So I guess the man had one leg and he parked in a handicap space, and then the parking officer called him the N-word and then said he had a knife. It wasn't the type of thing that my generation did as teens. Dr. Cress Welsing preferred the age of 28. Oh, she says we developmentally solid at 28. That's around the time when your Saturn return happens. You get one good smack on the behind, and then you be kind of ready to be a little grown. Some people, not me, but I'm just saying, that's one way to look at it. That Saturn return could knock some sense into your head. You like bong, 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 bong. Okay, I'm ready to adult now. So that's coming off of the Griot. I don't know what. Yeah, yeah. Good in the hood. LeBron James opens I Promise School for at-risk youth in Akron, Ohio. That's my Midwestern neighbor. Jalabad attack. 15 killed in eastern Afghan city. So prayers out to the people who made their transition. I mean, these wars and fights and just 15 people killed here, 20 killed there, 10 killed here. A black person killed here, a black person killed there, a black person attacked there. Even our disabled don't have a chance in this racist society. Horrible. I saw something that said that disproportionately developmentally disabled black folks are, attacked by the police. So I think they're even probably more vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are, the more vulnerable you are in this society. Like, I don't think there's any value at all in respecting and protecting and honoring people who need more respect and protection and honor. I think they're like, oh, someone's vulnerable. I'm a predator. I'm going to get them. I think their value system is a little, a lot, a lot. That's that calcified pineal gland, I guess. That's that whiteism. That white superiority, that white supremacy. They're like the supremely cruel people. They're like the supremely crazy people. They're like the supreme predators. Inside disparities of digital media reporting in the African American market. There's always disparities when it comes to us. Hero firefighter files lawsuit after being demoted for complaining about racism. I think this is the third time this thing has been in my headline. I think this is the same story, but maybe not, because this say the person just filed a lawsuit. The other story, the person got $200,000, and maybe they weren't a firefighter. Florida paramedics racially profiled dying woman. That Neanderthal cave beast DNA. So we talked about the Russian journalist dying in ambush. Viral video fight inside Buffalo Hospital restaurant has folks wondering why black customer was arrested, but not white security guard. That's coming off of Atlanta Black Star a couple days ago. Disney greenlights live action fairy tale about young African princess named Sade. And I like that name Sade because my grandmother's name was Sadie. And Sadie and Sade, that's like the same heritage. And I never thought of Sadie as like an African name, even though I'd heard of Sade. It's never as good as what? My love is wide, wider than the empire. I know Sade songs. Is it a crime? Sade. But I never thought of Sade being connected to Sadie. And then all of a sudden somebody pointed it out to me about 5 or 10 years ago. And I'm like, oh, my grandmother's name. It's like it's African. It was just not very exciting to you, of course, but to me. So there's going to be a young African princess named Sade that's been greenlit by Disney. Thank God for Disney. Leave immediately or you will pay. China is threatening foreign ships and planes, but the U.S. military isn't changing a thing. Sweet Sadie. I know that song too. Yes. The Commodores had a song named Sadie. That's that song you just mentioned, Sonia Sees. White shopper blocks intersection and calls police on black woman over a parking spot. In Not News Today. More Not News Today. And we're so shocked and surprised. How did that happen? Maybe this is America. No, we not in America. A 13-year-old Boy Scout with Asperger's syndrome survived for 37 hours in the wilderness by eating bugs and bark after being separated from his troop. Wow, that's a long time. No, mine was by the Spinners. Oh, okay, I'll have to look them up. Maybe Sadie was a more common name than I realized. I was just thinking, I was at Belle Isle. I was on the island and like a month ago, and I was enjoying the Weeping Willow. And then I walked around my park here yesterday. I'm like, there's a Weeping Willow. I walk by it all the time and I never see it. But you know that if you eat the Bark of a weeping willow is supposed to be good for headaches. Asperger's is some white mess. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, the autism spectrum and all of that. I don't really know. I have my theories about stuff like that because I just think that all kinds of people are on all different kinds. People are just different. The spinners. Yeah, you're right. My mistake. Um, um, thanks to Beyonce. So I think Vogue is like 100 years old, 107 years old, 137 years old. I don't know. They never had a black photographer shoot the cover. Beyonce, they like, oh please, Beyonce, do the cover. She said, okay, I'm gonna do the cover, but you got to pick this photographer. The particular photographer has a book that he has self-published, so maybe he'll get more people buying his book. And since he's self-published, it'll go to him as a black artist. And I like that story. I mean, I don't, I feel like if you can help another person, I think that that's good, just like mermaids and transgender whiteness. Um, so I know everybody, is not like all Beyonce'd out. I don't think I'm all Beyonce'd out, but I feel like I like to hear a story of somebody helping another black person. Because in 137 years, ain't nobody else helped the black person get on Vogue. Not to say that getting on Vogue is like, oh, now that you're on Vogue, you've arrived. Because, I think that now that Beyonce noticed you, you've arrived. But I'm just joking. But yeah, I like the fact that this young person was entrepreneurial and had their own hustle going. And I hope that this builds up their own hustle and their own brand. So his name is Tyler Mitchell. So 13 claps for Beyonce and Willow Bark. If you drink Willow Bark tea, it has the same effect. And Beyonce and the photographer child, young man, Tyler Mitchell. Yay! Majority black cities called boo-boo holes by spokesman for a GOP Senate nominee. Oprah went overboard with the Vogue cover, though. Oh, I didn't even know she had a Vogue cover, but I don't really follow that stuff. Um, so I guess this just goes to show you like the leadership of Zero and his people are getting in line and following in behind him, and what he say, they say, monkey see, monkey do, monkey say, monkey do. So they doing the supreme thing. They being their supreme selves. Just supreme. When Essence always made her look much better. Oh. What about on her thing where she's like the cover person every month on O Magazine? Former Oakland Mayor Congressman Ron V. Dellums dies at 82. So rest in peace to Ron V. Dellums, who was the former Oakland Mayor Congressman. What's a mayor congressman? Maybe he was a mayor and a congressman? Yeah. The name Ron Dellums sounds familiar to me, but I'm not really familiar, but rest in peace. More than 50% of black investors in venture capital went to Harvard or Stanford. Just a statistic. That's coming off of Mogulum. A Swedish city's train station flooded, and some residents turned it into a swimming pool. I think they're having a heat wave over there, so they were like, "Woo, let's go swimming in the train station." That sounds really nasty because I was just talking the other day about seeing rats in New York City subway. So I would just be like, "Ew." I would just, yeah, I guess rats probably swim in the river and in the ocean too, right? Rats gotta swim. Wendy Williams denies she's harsher on black women than white women. People love to throw stones at me. I think she's harsher on black women. Because she called one woman Blackie. What do you think, Blackie? Have we ever heard her call a woman Whitey? Good evening, Angela and Chad. Hey, I see. Have we ever heard? But I don't follow her enough to know. And I haven't watched her show. When she went away for the month on hiatus, I haven't been back to her show. When she went away because she was sick, and then Sister Circle came on, if I'm watching anything, it's going to be Sister Circle. And I haven't watched her on YouTube, just like Bravo Andy. I'm weaning myself, y'all. I'm weaning myself with the bullshit. It's floating away. Float on, float on, float on. Concert at 11. I'm gonna be late like Lauryn Hill though, and I may not show up. China uses threats about relatives at home to control and silence expats and exiles abroad. She always complimenting non-black women on their good hair. Well, you see what her value system is. It's right on, it's as plain as the hair on her head. State sued to block sale of 3D printed weapon designs online. So this is an old story, or been developing. Man in rage. Why they enrage? Hurls racial abuse at woman outside her home, then mocks her for having black nephews. Oh, we talked about that story. Why they mad? The former personnel chief. The former personnel chief at FEMA allegedly created a toxic work environment where sexual harassment was rampant. It was like, I guess it was toxic for some, but I guess for the sexual harasser, maybe it was like a utopia of sexual harassment. Hey, Bella. Hey, Bella, sweet. We talked about this. I think fans flood Bow Wow's account. Oh no, I was talking to somebody else. With Cash App requests after he vows to give away all his money. Isn't Bow Wow the one who tends to be on the dramatic side? Didn't he do a song about suicide? Wasn't he the one that was on a plane talking about he on a private jet and it wasn't really, he was like fronting for the gram? He a liar? Is that him? Because he said, I'm giving away all of my money. And the people were like, I don't feel bad for you. Here, if you want to give away some money, give me some money. UK Foreign Secretary accidentally referred to his Chinese wife as Japanese on his first trip to China. I thought somebody else called his wife Japanese. Maybe he was just nervous being in China and he's like, my wife, she's Japanese. Chinese. It sounds kind of like, but everybody makes mistakes. I'm applying for my permits next week. I don't know what y'all talking about, but yeah. 10 claps. Will EU healthcare for tourists survive Brexit? I didn't know they had healthcare for tourists. Did y'all know about that? EU healthcare for tourists? What does it mean? I don't know anything about it. Blackish creator Kenya Burris departs ABC. Netflix could be next. President of California's Sheriff's Union resigns after protecting racist officers. Asian women don't care as long as they got a white man. President of California we talked about that. Evidence of torture in Russia prison. Panic kangaroo smashes way into Australian home. Weaving a livelihood in Kenya. Nikki deserves 33. Okay, 1, 2, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Woo! I don't know what, but yay! 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 Woo! Woo! Stella looking at me like, what in the world? Howard University students protest Jim Crow at U.S. Capitol, 1934. Nailing it, how the National Gallery of Ireland is taking the masters to the masses. Canadian puddle splash van driver loses job. I guess the van driver was being impolite and trying to deliberately splash people with water. And so they lost their job. I think that's what happened. I don't know. Man caught on video. Yay, Nikki. Y'all know how Jackie go. Jackie. Nikki. Bella looking at me like, what in the world? Man caught on video hurling N-word at black man loses business. This has completely and thoroughly ruined my life. Real talk. We as black men really need to safeguard our women and children, whether they're directly connected to us or not. Yep. Because I feel like we are all directly connected, whether we're conscious of it or not. And I feel like there's such a legacy of us being, I feel like a lot of us are like blood connected and we don't even know it. We don't, I don't feel sad for him at all. I don't feel sad for him at all. He is we are each other. Yes, we are. He is a grown, budded man. I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing. And yeah, I don't feel bad for he's supreme. He's the supremacy of idiocy. Of, you know. Okay, Assam register 4 million risk losing India citizenship. Oh, we talked about that. So 4 million did. Why Jeremy Hunt, Jeff's wife gaff is a bad mistake. WWE Wrestling World mourns death of 3 stars. When I saw that out, and it was like the imagery, I think it was like one brown person. I was like, I don't know what happened. What happened? I don't know. College student reported missing after going swimming in Israel. So this young student has made their transition. I think it was a black student. Mentally ill people are disproportionately represented in police shootings, and something must be done about it. I was just saying, I had seen that headline. Sandra Bland's mother says she can't watch HBO's doc on her daughter's death in Texas jail. I see my baby in the cell lying on the ground. Prayers out to that mama and all the mamas who have to see and have seen their children just in horrific situations, period, and especially as a result of this brutal, barbaric, inhumane, jacked up, effed up, messed up shitstem that we're a part of. You know, just prayers out. I was thinking about the baby boy in the casket whose mother had it open. She like, no, leave it open. It was in Jet magazine. Now the white woman said, oh, he didn't whistle at me. And even if he did whistle at you, is that a death sentence? I mean, just because the woman said he whistled at her, so then the men are gonna kill him? I mean, the whole thing is just so dumb. It doesn't make sense. It's not about what they say. Obviously, it's not about what they say it's about. But yeah, prayers out to Sandra Bland's mama and all the mamas and grandmamas and sisters and brothers and uncles and nieces and nephews and cousins, all of us who have lost people, and just seen our people brutalized. Grace Mugabe's immunity annulled by South African court. I guess she had immunity, and now the South African court is like, you ain't got no immunity anymore. So I don't know what that means. They called her Gucci Grace, remember? Police stop and frisk black men, even though suspect they're looking for is white. We're looking for a white man. Come here, black man. We want to stop and frisk you. Which just goes to show that stop and frisk is about what the system is about: harassing and humiliating and denigrating and controlling and hurting black people and keeping us under stress and under, keep that Negro on the run, keeping us like under pressure, keeping the pressure on. Al Sharpton announces rally in Florida to protest stand your ground killing of Marquise McLaughlin. Spanish taxis block road in anti-Uber protest. Tajikistan attack leaves 4 foreign cyclists dead. Tamar Braxton's confrontation with pilot goes viral. Delta responds. I still haven't seen the video. I know she says it was something racial. I don't know. I don't. Boston history, the African Meeting House. The African Meeting House. I run the African Meeting House. Would you like to come by? Oh, let's go on over to the African Meeting House. You've been over to the African Meeting House? They got some food there. You've been over to the African Meeting House? So-and-so is speaking over there. Go over to the African Meeting House. They'll hook you up. I like that. African Meeting House. AMH. Drake fans in Egypt can face jail time for doing the hashtag In My Feelings challenge. They like, we not here for it. Don't be out here, no In My Feelings challenge. Indeed, when I said directly connected, I really just meant whether we personally know them in any way or not. We need to safeguard all of our sisters and our youths and each other and our brothers, all of us. A CEO who paid off $100,000 in his own student loans used to think they were predatory, but after 6 years helping people pay theirs, he's changed his mind. I'm so offended. I don't even know. Maybe if I read the article, I would change my mind too. But I feel like student loans are predatory. I'm so offended. How to apologize if you accidentally said something at work that's racist, sexist, or offensive. France shocked by video of woman being slapped by harasser. The man said something to her. I think I saw that the man said something to her. She said something back or told him to shut up. And he got up and smacked her. Like, don't be tough. I can grab your butt if I can say anything to you or something. I can't remember. Because I think I'm conflating two stories. One where the person grabbed the woman's butt and one where he just said something and then smacked her for being offended that he said something. Zimbabwe election, high turnout in first post Mugabe poll. Black man accuses Sean Spicer of hurling racial slur at him. You shouldn't wash or reuse condoms, in case you're wondering. I'm like, I can't believe that's a headline. Y'all out here washing and reusing condoms? Don't do that. Phishing scam targets iPhone users with fake call to Apple Care. So if you get something going on with Apple Care, just opt out of it if you have an iPhone. Okay, so we've looped back around. We've made it through. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So thank you for being here. It's on purpose that you're here. I'm not hungry today, but I am thirsty. I've only had 32 ounces. It's 6:49. If I get on it, I could almost be on track. So I'm gonna go drink some water. And you don't have to leave channel Be Fabulous You. You don't have to leave. I'm thirsty too. They say when you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. You know that, don't you? We got to do better. But I've done about 32 ounces so far. I'm a little behind, but not that far behind. I'm excited. So yes, let's all drink water. Let's all eat something raw and something green and something fresh. I need a daiquiri. Daiquiri. No. And some water. Just drink the water. So this is the wind down. I hate to just click off on anybody when they're talking, but we're about to leave. So I'm going to play this music, but drop in the comments anything that you're excited about, anything that you're looking forward to. If you didn't earlier talk about what was new and good for you personally, like car shopping or something like that, and some watermelon. Ooh, I could go for some watermelon. Drop it in the comment section. Drop it on the live stream. Anything that's exciting for you personally, your family, your community, in the world. Did I miss some really good news that's going on? And some chitlins, some chitterlings. No chitterlings. Go to Florida. I still like the go to Florida joke. I guess you're beyond it. But I like that. I think it's very clever. It's like an inside joke that no one will get unless they know about Not News. Like spring, summer, September, joggers. And some butter biscuits. Oh no. Not the butter biscuits.
Be you. Hey, hey, hey. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you.
Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Who we gonna be if you ain't you? Who we gonna be if we ain't we? Who you gonna be if you ain't you? Thank you for the hearts.
Be you.
Peace.
Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace.
Thanks, Sonia. It's good to see everybody. Today is the best day ever, and you are the greatest. You are the number one stunner. It is on purpose that you are here, that we are here together. We are on divine mission and divine order and the divine plan. Peace, peace, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you.